rebound here. Oh, I just left a Boots Off hostel at 6:30. It's about 7 now. I really enjoyed my stay there. It, like Standing Bear, has its own little vibe and culture there. And it was rustic, but in my opinion, it was rustic done right. Everything was organized and rustic decor, like the bathroom. Looked like an outhouse, but inside it had running water and a porcelain throne. And they had plenty of hand soap and hand sanitizer and Lysol, because I mentioned in another video that norovirus is going around. The mattresses on the bunks were very comfortable. I loved the way they color coordinated everything. Like my curtains and cubicle for my bunk were purple, and outside there was a purple cubicle for my trekking poles and my backpack. Each bunk had its own light and privacy curtain and outlet to charge your devices, which is these days very important. It was a fairly busy hostel. Everything was sort of spread out. Not only did they have a bunkhouse, but they had little cabins that you could rent. You could tent there, and they had a main building that housed a kitchen that you could use. You clean up whatever you mess up. I bought a Red Baron pizza for $9, and I hate the whole thing. For those of you who count calories out here and are worried about my nutrition, it was 1,500 calories. Plus the snacks that I had when I first got in. Hold on, I gotta make sure I'm still on trail. I don't understand why, when there's a fork in the trail, they don't just put a blaze to make it absolutely clear which direction you go. But it's the exception rather than the rule for that to happen. I'll be right back. Okay, my first instinct was right, but I just had to check far out to make sure, and that is why everyone who is planning on doing a through hike needs to download the Far Out app. It has saved my hiney so many times. My first hike I did mostly without it. I didn't even know about it, and when I heard about it, I was worried that it would have to have cell service. But it doesn't take cell service. You can use it in airplane mode. Boots Off. They had a shuttle run into town, which I did not do because the choices were McDonald's and Subway. And that frozen pizza sounded pretty good to me, so I went with that. They did not have Fritos. I got Cool Ranch Doritos and peanut butter crackers and peanuts. So that's kind of telling me that maybe I'm not getting enough salt out here. I don't know. This place also caters to kayakers and canoers and people who want to go out on the lake in those things and or canoe the river. When you take a canoe down a river for part of the trail, it's called aqua blazing. So they cater to aqua blazers. And let's see, what else? So the place is what I would call an extrovert hostel. I did socialize there. I met people I wouldn't have ordinarily met on the trail, probably. And I enjoyed my conversation and my social time with them. But I don't feel real rested. So this is the thing. I'm web blazing today too. Introverts, a lot of people think, don't like people. They don't like being around people, and that could not be further from the truth. Introverts recharge when they're alone. Extroverts recharge when they are around people. An introvert goes into a room where there are a lot of people, and it's like a deer in the headlights. At least for me, this is my experience as an introvert. My heart starts beating a little faster, and I'm just real nervous because it's sensory overload. We can feel the energy in the room. I'm calling it energy because I don't know what else to call it. I don't mean it in any kind of hooky-pooky way. It's just something that is draining our energy. Extroverts see people and it's like, finally, I can recharge. Finally, I can have some fun. Finally, I can get away from all of this aloneness on the trail. So that's my interpretation of the difference between introverts and extroverts in a nutshell. I can socialize and enjoy it, but I'm probably going to need to rest afterwards. When I go into town, we go once or twice a week, and we go to all of the grocery stores, and I'm amongst all of the fluorescent lighting and all of the people, and we're constantly getting in and out of the car. I'm exhausted, and I have to go into my self-imposed cocoon for a while just to recharge. So, there are opportunities at Boots Off to be an introvert. You can just shut yourself off into your bunk with your curtain, and, edit videos or watch a video or do whatever you want, read and recharge. I am not knocking Boots Off. I would stay there again. I liked it a lot. The people there were very nice. In particular, the lady that runs the store was Lucky Moon, and she was incredibly sweet and nice and made each and every hiker feel as if she knew them. So, I guess that's my review of Boots Off Hostel. I would highly recommend staying there if you're going through. Today, I plan on doing I think it's about 16 miles. I'm going to a shelter, and then the next day I'll have about 16, and then 10 into Damascus. So if I can see on far out a place where I might stealth camp, then I may do that option and go a little further the next 2 days, so I'll have less miles to get into Damascus. Damascus just sort of feels like an important point. That's where they usually have trail days, and I guess I'm not sure exactly when I will have crossed over into Virginia, but I'll definitely be in Virginia and Damascus. So I'm eager to get there. I am going to take a zero. I'm going to stay at Lady Di's. Never stayed at hers before. I used to stay my other 2 hikes at Woodchuck's, but he is no longer in business, and I really like that hostel. Anyway, that's my plan, and my arm is getting tired, and I need to take off this rain jacket because I'm starting to sweat. So that is it for the morning report. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you who watches. Still floored that so many people continue to watch, and I appreciate your support and your kind comments. And this is Rebound signing out. I forgot to mention the shower. Oh my goodness. It was rustic. It was sort of hillbilly style. It was so cute. I love hillbilly, rustic kind of decor. I just think it's cute. But the shower head was a bucket, like a wash tub, a small wash tub. and they had drilled holes in the bottom. So the bucket filled up and all of the water came out of the holes at the bottom. And at first I was thinking, oh, that's not going to be much pressure. But it was so awesome. Plenty of hot water. Never even came close to running out. I am not kidding. I must have spent about 30 minutes in there soaping up, trying to get the trail off of me. It takes so long before you actually feel clean. Washed my hair twice and all of that good stuff. But it might have been a little cold in the winter because it was open at the top and the bottom. Sort of, like a bathroom stall. That's the only way I know to describe it. But that didn't bother me at all. It was clean. Everything was clean. So I could not let this go, the morning report, without mentioning the shower at Boots Off. I'm still hiking around the beautiful Watauga Lake. I'm pretty sure there is a Watauga Dam coming up, so it's a man-made lake. But it's still beautiful nonetheless. Wow. That's gorgeous the way those mountaintops are in the clouds. Hello, Rebound here. This was a very tough day. I think I was going uphill all day long. When I first started out this morning, I noticed a pain every time I took a step in my ankle, and it seemed like it just got progressively worse as the day went on. And on top of that, I was having intestinal issues. I'll just leave it at that. And that was another thing that was really frustrating and caused problems today. I'll just say that. When I got to the shelter, I met a lady from Quebec, and I happened to mention to the people there at the table while we were eating that my ankle was really hurting. And she pulled out a cream. It wasn't like Bengay or Icy Hot because I couldn't even feel it. My guess is that it was something like Aspercream, but I didn't recognize the ingredient. She had me put that on when I first got there, and I put it on again before I came back to my tent, and it's hardly hurting at all. I did take some ibuprofen. It's not swollen at all. I guess it was just inflammation. I'm hoping it feels good tomorrow. But that is a huge relief because that tells me that it's probably just inflammation of some sort. I was so preoccupied with my intestinal issues, with the long hard climb and my ankle pain, that I hardly paid attention to the trail at all. I did see some pretty wildflowers, but again today the leaves are not yet on the trees, so the sun was just bearing down all day, but there was a nice cool breeze, and so that was nice. And I guess that's all for the evening report. This is Rebound, signing out.